time it is.
It's time to play, have some fun today. It's time to play the Playdate.
Hey, this is Jim Silver.
And I'm Chris Byrne, and we're from TimeToPlayMag.com, and welcome to the Playdate!
Yeah, it's time to play, and we have a special guest today.
Jordan Hembrough, who is the star of an exciting new TV show on the Travel Channel called The Toy Hunter.
It is.
It is.
We
That's
are.
right. What do you wear to be a toy hunter?
Yeah.
I wear this.
You know something? I immediately have a problem.
I want a pith helmet.
I don't.
think you
I've
need
got a
pith helmet.
headlamp. I've got a headlamp for
Oh,
hunting in
okay.
like dark basements. and
I
everything.
like that.
I immediately have a problem when a guest comes in and has cooler t-shirts than us. You know, right there.
you go.
That's a problem. Still play with
I
toys.
know, I'm already outshining all you guys. I'm
I
sorry.
know. Well, you know what? We'll try to bask in reflected glory.
Okay.
So, how did you get into doing all of this?
I was a die-hard collector from when I was a kid. I was the kid that had all the geeky toys and the Star Wars figures in my room and all the posters and everything like that. I dreamt about, when most kids were dreaming about chicks and everything like that, I was dreaming about the toys.
About roto-molded plastic. Roto-molded plastic did it for you.
Oh my God, yes.
And Mom would say, throw them out, throw them out.
And I'd go to the dumpster and I'd grab them all myself.
Oh, well, that's good. I know a lot of people who, like, went to college and Mom cleaned out their rooms. Like, it's like, 80 years of therapy for that.
I
Do you
know.
know, years ago, I did an interview and I got in trouble with my mom. I was at a Matchbox convention and I sat there and on camera I said, my mom threw out all my Matchbox cards. She threw away my kids' college education.
Oh my God.
And the neighbor saw it and went up to my mother and said, you are a
Smacked her?
rotten mother.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were smacking or something like that.
So you brought along some stuff that's from your collection
I
that,
did,
that, you've,
yes.
that you've hunted down.
I have.
Did you like sneak around and like go, oh, there it is, and pounce on it?
I grabbed him. I kind of beat a couple people up, but we won't talk about that right now.
Okay, so let's start with this guy because this is the one that Jeff McKinney, if he's watching, this is now bent over in pain.
Right.
Tell us what
There are
this
a lot of people here
is.
drooling.
This is for you, Jeff. Okay, this is classic 1970s Kenner. This is the original Star Wars collection. Darth Vader, still sealed in the box, mint in package, never opened. Want to take a guess at what it's worth?
Wow. Sealed in package, 1,500?
Close. Little
800.
less. Very, very close. This one I would put out without hesitation for around $600 to $700.
Wow, and you'd get that.
I would absolutely get it. And you know
You
what?
brought that for us?
I did. This actually
Happy birthday, Jim.
Hey!
parting gift for you. Absolutely.
Now, so some other stuff here. Now, this is stuff that we might not have thought about. The Love Boat.
I never heard of that show.
Boat.
I never heard of
You
that.
never watched
fantastic.
that? Well, you were too young.
I only watched Julie. I didn't know there was a show.
Oh, so you were a teenager. So these are the figures from the Love Boat. But wait, look at this sophisticated cross-sell on the back.
Right.
That is pretty amazing.
And what I find interesting is Captain Stubing was drawn the same way as Isaac. It was like a generic pose, and Doc is actually the same way as Gopher. It's like they had really sort of like rudimentary artists back then, only know how to do like 2 or 3 poses.
I have a serious question, a somewhat serious question.
Okay.
You look at these figures.
Yeah.
When did figures start looking like
People?
real people? Thank you. That's it. Because back then it's just like you look at Julie, she doesn't look like Julie.
No.
And there was a technology change. When did you see a big change, and what really changed the look that they became more realistic?
I think it really happened, back in the 1970s. Really, when Kenner Corporation came out and with Mego, they started making the action figures look like the people. I mean, they started looking a lot like the characters. The Gene Simmons doll for Kiss looks like Gene Simmons.
Right.
The Paul Stanley doll looks like Paul Stanley. I'll tell you a little inside secret, though. Peter Criss, okay? Now, wait a minute, hang on. I'm thinking here. Hang on for a second. Hang on. I gotta think of something. Paul Stanley was actually the same head as Daryl from Captain and Tennille. They used the same doll.
But different paint operations.
Slightly different.
Slightly
That was Daryl when he got home at night, and it wasn't on stage.
Now this no, that was Tennille.
Same thing.
So here's a question. One of the things we keep hearing a lot is that the collector in the last 20 years or so has really driven a lot of the action figure market in terms of the level of design and the level of detail. Because if we hold a 2012 action figure up against, say, Gopher here from the Love Boat, you're going to see a lot of detail, really fine detail. Now that's partially manufacturing,
right?
But the collectors have really wanted that detail.
I totally agree with you, and I think what's happening is manufacturers now are actually listening to the fans. They're listening to what the collectors want, and they're making it because they're marketing that toy to the collectors. So you know what? The manufacturers are saying, if this guy wants an action figure with, an axe and a sword, let's do that. Even though it might be more costing issue, or a little bit of a costing issue, we're going to do it because that's the figure they want made, and that's what they're doing. And so far, it's become, it's working for them.
By the way, Chris, it is Congressman Gopher.
Oh, it's Congressman.
That's right.
Now we've got this is an iconic toy, Teddy Ruxpin.
Love Teddy Ruxpin.
1986.
1986.
That's right.
And he was like really the first interactive. I mean, he's got a video, a cassette, an audio cassette in his back, and he tells you a story.
Yeah. When this toy came out, actually, it freaked the hell out of me because I was watching animatronic looking at me, and I had bad dreams about it. My sister, who's younger than me, loved it. This was a phenom when it went on, came out of the market.
I remember that.
Everyone thought like, oh my God, this bear's alive, and people were like freaking out over it. It was a huge success for Worlds of Wonder.
How many of these actually exist, do you think?
I think there's still a big number of them still out there. I mean, it's still new enough that you can find them on internet auction sites and everything. A lot of them still in the boxes. He actually had a friend of his, Grubby, which I never knew what the hell Grubby was. Was he a worm? Was he like a grub? I don't know what he was. They made those in the boxes. They're a lot rarer. They go for about $400 if you can find them.
Now, that brings up a question. There's a lot of collectibles, like really in the last 10, 12 years, we've seen things that have been marketed specifically as collectibles.
Yep.
Whether it's Holiday Barbie or certain G.I. Joes. Or they're said they're collectibles.
Don't believe it.
Right, exactly. That's where I was going with that.
Yeah.
That's where I was going.
It's a lot of the companies got on the marketing, collectible craze a long time ago. And for the most part, the general population kind of bought into it. They said, oh, look, it's marked collectible.
Right.
It's marked limited. I must buy it. But they didn't know that limited means like we made 1 million of them
Right,
that year.
exactly.
Okay? So what I usually tell people is if you're going to buy something like that as an investment, make sure the company really did only make like 1,500.
Right.
And they're not going to reissue it. They're not going to reproduce it. You see a lot of that with statues nowadays. Companies making statues and say, you know what? This is a limited run of 1,500 pieces.
Right.
When it's gone, it's gone. And those are the toys that are going to, really accrue in value over the years.
Right.
How much more valuable is it that actually is numbered?
I would say it really does add a significant amount. If you can flip it over and say, this is number 2 out of like 400, or this is number 220 out of 400. Or sometimes a lot of people, they want the last number. This is the last one ever made.
Right.
400 out of 400, or maybe number 1 or 0 out of 400. I know you're a big collector of low number action figures and stuff.
That's right.
Like that.
Yeah.
There you go. You're fanatic, right?
Yeah, I go to manufacturers, I grab them out of the box.
He's like, I need 1 and I need 2. That was it, right?
All right. Sunday, Monday,
Happy days.
Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days.
Okay, we're all dating ourselves right now.
There you go.
That's right. There's the bonds.
He was the coolest guy around.
Yeah.
And what's even cooler about this is he had thumbs, the opposable thumbs that went up, make the A, and he had a little switch on his back, so you can't do it in the package, but when you push the button, he would be like this, A, like that.
So he's an electronic bond.
Sort of. He's kid powered.
He's kid powered.
Thumb powered.
Now, another big area is lunchboxes. People collect lunchboxes. I had a Beanie and Cecil lunchbox, which I regret having.
You really are dating yourself.
I am dating myself. I really am dating myself.
I wasn't born then.
Right.
You probably weren't. Neither were you.
True.
But a lot of these, I know people who collect lunchboxes. You go into their living room, the entire wall is lunchboxes.
It's big. Lunchboxes, that whole pop culture kind of thing is really, really huge right now. And what I'm seeing is a lot of people are actually taking lunchboxes and they're sort of grouping them into the toy category. And some of them are very, very valuable. I mean, you take this piece right here, a Batman and Robin lunchbox from the 1960s. This does have the thermos.
Oh,
okay?
Wow. I can hear it.
Can I open it?
Absolutely. Go ahead. You want to put
Probably
your
got my lunch from 4th grade in there.
Wow.
That lunchbox.
Look at that.
Oh, look at the penguin!
Look at the
He's
penguin.
an old school penguin.
Well, you got
Like, there's the old.
There you go.
You got the.
Get your fingers off the penguin.
Well, I like the Riddler better. Frank Gorshin.
That's right.
The Riddler. Cesar Romero.
I was kind of partial to Julie Newmar as the Catwoman.
Me too. And Lee
Burgess
Merriweather.
Meredith.
Yep.
Oh, this is so cool.
But that piece right now will still retail for a good $400.
Wow.
no
So
wonder you walk
we've
around
got
with
stuff
this.
to give away, and
All right.
we've got more with you. But let me put this down here.
Not
okay.
this stuff though.
No, not this
No, no,
stuff.
no.
Stuff's going home with me.
We've got some new collectibles that we're giving away.
Right.
This is actually a Halo Wars figure. They made 1,000 of these. They
Awesome.
made 1,000 of those.
Okay.
We've got the reproduction of the Nerf ball that was done for the
you
40th
perfect.
anniversary of Nerf. We've got the 1959 bathing suit Barbie reproduction
Yeah.
that was done in 2009 for Barbie's 50th anniversary. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are coming back this year.
They're back on Nickelodeon.
They're back on Nickelodeon.
They just
Very
premiered.
hot.
And this
Very
is
hot.
a limited edition that was created just for Toy Fair. And we've got the Transformers Vault, the complete Transformers
I
universe.
gave it up.
book.
I gave it up out of my office.
I noticed you didn't give up Farrah.
I didn't give up Farrah.
You didn't get Farrah?
You didn't, have you
He's
seen
got a
Farrah
Farrah doll?
No. Can I, for Migo? Or the new one?
The new one.
Have you seen the one?
No, I
got
haven't seen
shown
it.
this to
We'll
you.
have it on the next
I'll
segment.
show you this
So,
next segment.
to win this fabulous prize
It is free
packet,
to enter.
It's free to enter. You have to come to timetoplaymag.com/playdate by September 5th at midnight.
Just click on the Playdate. It's on the homepage. All rules how to enter. It is free. Midnight, September 5th, and you get to win all this. Not this,
Not
but
this.
this. But we do have another giveaway, and we have more toys right after this.
Hey, we are back, and we've brought along some of our favorite toys that we've collected and held on to over the years. That is my
Love it.
Star Wars Revenge of the Sith press kit. That was from Toy Fair. I don't even remember what year.
It was about 3 years ago, the re-release of the
2005.
2005.
I originally saw this for about $700 when it
Really?
first hit.
I sold one too for $800.
Okay, you did better.
And I'll
Yeah.
put this back in my office where it will live
you go.
forever. But it's great. Now this is the Whammo Air Blaster. My brother and I both had these, and we loved this.
Great toy.
It was run up and you know the other thing you could do is like your mom would be cooking in the kitchen. You could
Yeah.
sneak up behind her and go bam,
Yeah.
and she'd scream.
I used to blow up my birthday candles with it. Because they shot,
that's awesome.
shot
Great
a,
idea.
a blast of air.
All right, but they took them off the market, right?
They did, because people were walking up behind someone else's ear and blowing their ear out with it.
You
Or
know-
their eye. It was horrible. But it was great fun.
But it's really
It was really, really fun.
Not as much fun as Tarzan's gonna have. Now, this came out in 1997, and it was taken.
and went off the market in
It went on
1997.
1997 because you can see with Tarzan. Listen closely. Now you're wondering what. Hold on. Now,
Video Girl has seen this for the first
Does this
time.
have any value? You're familiar with this
Yes,
toy, obviously.
I am. Yes, I'm familiar with that.
Define value, Jim.
Is this still worth $10 or is it?
You know what? It's a cool talking piece, okay? I mean, it's you know what? I take it out at parties.
Some people
and have
just
fun
talk.
with it. It's fantastic. You know, I would put a value probably around $20 to $25. But you know what?
Better to keep it.
The joy you get out of it is worth so much more.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things, when people are shopping, I wanted to ask you
All on the
about
wrist. All on the wrist.
All on the wrist.
brand new toy coming out this year called Monsuno, and we're very excited about Monsuno. But this is one I found where you can see the label is upside down
Upside
and
down.
backwards. Now, if this was a postage stamp, and I was
Right.
collecting postage
Like an
stamps,
inverted Jenny?
an inverted, right?
Right.
Well, not an inverted
Millions.
Jenny, millions of dollars. But
Right.
I mean, to a collector, 10, 12 years from now,
Right.
if this becomes a collectible, would that have any value?
You know, it might. You'd have to find a niche collector.
Right.
Essentially, it's a packaging error. That's
Right.
essentially what it is.
Right. So we see some of this. What else? Oh,
Okay.
this is awesome.
I have something from 1966. Now, my first
Basketball.
question. It's all torn apart.
Yeah.
I know that devalues it.
Right, and
but-
you actually have some food here. Is that it? You know what that is? Is that a caramel corn?
It is. It's
Is it
candy
caramel corn
corn.
for Halloween?
Wait, that's 37-year-old candy corn. That should be in the Smithsonian.
I'll give you $20 for it if you eat it. Right now.
No, he'll
Come on.
eat it.
I will not eat it.
All right.
All right.
I thought
Do
you
you
guys were
remember
fun.
this? Do you remember this? Do you remember this? You take it. You have the two teams.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you put the ball in.
That's right. You put the ball in and you
That's
just
it.
bing bong.
Which one is it?
Oh,
there you go.
shot too much.
And there
And
it is.
there it
and right
goes.
there.
So, are there any value to some of these old games, or?
You know, there actually is. There are a lot of people that collect just vintage board games and vintage games like this.
Oh yeah.
Packaging is everything. Okay, let's see the package.
So
This is all packaged.
It's all packaged.
You know,
It's got
a
the
little
candy
more.
corn.
It does have the corn though. So it's a little, It's great. I love the graphics on the box and everything like that. They just don't make them like this anymore. This is actually a painting that they use.
Now, in your show,
Yeah.
you found a lot of things that were worth a lot of money.
We have.
Did you break any hearts?
You know what? By telling them what their stuff is worth,
Yeah,
not as much as they thought it was.
exactly.
Yeah, actually, I did. It's the reactions have been interesting. They range from "Wow, I'm sorry to hear that" to "Get out of my house." You know, they're very, very upset. Some people are very, very emotional. With the advent of the internet and online auction sites, a lot of people feel that a little bit of education goes a long way.
Right.
And they become the expert. So what happens is you got to kind of bring them back down to earth a little bit and say, listen, I know you've got this toy. I know you saw it for $500.
Right.
It doesn't mean it's selling for $500. It doesn't mean it's necessarily worth $500. So a lot of the education has to go along with it.
Right.
There was a tier or two.
Right, because we're talking about things are worth what somebody's willing to pay for it. It's
Absolutely.
like Hasbro came out with this GI Joe line a couple of years ago, 10 years ago. They were all collectible Medal of Honor winners. They were big for the GI Joe thing.
Right.
I don't think I could get anything for this because unless I found a GI Joe collector who wanted it and was missing that from their collection, then
Maybe
they
with the
might
movie next year.
But next year,
Next year or the year after.
Or the year
some-
after,
or some-
or the year after
Or
that.
at least if they don't kill Channing Tatum in the first 5 minutes.
Right,
It's
exactly.
true. Now bring me my Joker for a second. Now this is the Heath Ledger.
we hear that
Joker.
around here all the time. Bring me my Joker.
Bring me my Joker. Now, how do I gauge if this is going to be a collectible? Because I'm sitting there holding this, saying this might be worth something, or I might just be crazy.
Hold on, so
I mean,
Video Boy can
so
get a nice
I look
picture
at
of it.
this, and you look at an item, and you have to make a prediction. Hold it. I mean, obviously, you have an extra one to
I
play.
agree. Yeah.
I know you can't predict, but what would you think if you saw something like this with the Heath Ledger Joker?
You know, after Heath Ledger passed and everything, it was a horrible circumstance and everything. Everybody started hoarding Heath Ledger stuff. The same thing happened with Michael Jackson. Unfortunately, after a celebrity dies, everyone thinks everything attached to that celebrity is going to be worth money.
Right.
Michael Jackson, Heath Ledger, all
Macho
that
Man.
type of
That's
Macho
the same
Man.
thing.
Macho Man.
Yes.
God, he was actually a friend of mine. I miss him.
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't necessarily mean it's all going to go up in value, okay? Yes, some of the Michael Jackson stuff did go up in value. Heath Ledger stuff, especially when it comes to something like this, is really not going to go up in value. This was done by Mattel. I was going to say
Yes.
Hasbro. It was done by Mattel. They made hundreds of thousands of them. There's just so much of it out on the market right now, and people have to remember that. Even though it's attached to a movie, even though it's attached to a figure, and the guy, unfortunately passed away, he's no longer with us, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go up in value. Because it's about
It means
100,000.
Video Boy might get this.
Video Boy might get that.
Video might get it now.
And we were talking about this guy before. This is a Jackie Chan action figure.
He's still with us, though.
He's still with us.
Okay.
No. But I met Jackie in 2001,
Right.
and he signed this for me. And you said I could get like maybe $40 for this.
Yeah, about
it's
40.
so much worth more than that to me to have this in my office.
Yeah.
And you always say, collect what you love and love what you collect.
Absolutely. So hold on to Jackie right now.
Right. Exactly. Oh, he's going.
It's like
nowhere.
my Bob Kane. I told you before, I have
Yep.
originally Bob Kane from 1966, an original Batman. I was offered $10,000.
I'll give you 10,001.
And
I'll up the offer.
No,
Up the offer.
I don't think it's for
And I
sale. I
kept
kept it because it means too much
Yeah,
to me.
it's a great piece.
Now,
It is.
I have a question. Here is something that a lot of people don't know about. This is Dwayne Wade. It's
Okay.
a toy that we were excited about a few years ago, and it never came out.
Okay.
Now, how's a toy valuable to somebody else if nobody ever saw it?
Well, it's interesting. Now, educate me for a second, okay? This line never came out, or this doll never came out?
This line never came
The
out.
whole
It's
line.
an
Action figure.
It's an action
not
figure.
a doll.
It's a figurine! It's a figurine!
And actually, it's Dwayne Wade. There's a whole line. You see Kobe Bryant here.
Right,
It
there he
shoots
is.
hoops. There's a problem in Hong Kong. The line never came out. The company went out of business.
Okay. Something like this, is interesting. It is appealing because it never came out. It's an identifiable sport. It's basketball. It's an identifiable figure, okay? And it's technically it's a sample. It's nothing that came out. So people will kind of come to the market for something like this and start paying more money for a toy that really never came out. It's interesting. It's a niche.
Right. Again, these are
Make an offer on it.
Now in
Yeah.
one of my interview
Mine.
with you, we showed
Yeah.
a clip of you meeting this like big biker dude who was totally into Barbie.
Awesome guy.
Which is great because I've met a lot of Barbie collectors. He's
Right.
not your typical Barbie collector.
No, he wasn't.
But you get something like this, which is the Mac Barbie that came out. I'm not exactly sure what year it was.
Great piece.
They sold out of that in like 3 hours at Mac. So and you see this online for different things. But again, I'm never going to part with this.
It was exclusive
Right.
only to Mac. And, people come and talk to me about how much is this worth, how much is
Right.
that worth, and even though I say, look, they made hundreds of thousands of them, when you get something new like this on the market that's available only and exclusively at one retailer, okay, and they had limited numbers, stuff like that will increase in value. So this would be a good investment.
That's great. So I have a personal question for you.
Okay.
Is there a holy grail?
Does he have a Slim Jim with him? I just want to know. Is he snapping into a Slim Jim? He doesn't.
I know Miss Elizabeth.
Okay.
Oh, no, Miss
No,
Elizabeth.
Miss
Snapping
Elizabeth.
into Miss Elizabeth.
Yes.
So is there a toy that for you personally is the holy grail that you are seeking?
I am. Yeah, I knew you were going to ask that. If I hope you have one.
Desperately seeking.
I'm seeking a 1960s ideal Batman utility belt. Okay. The
Wow.
last sale that I know of went for $15,000.
Oh my goodness.
Do you have one?
No, I don't. I don't.
I think I know who might have one.
You've got one.
Well, I don't have one. I think I know
okay.
somebody. I know somebody ideal in
Okay.
the 60s.
Really?
Yeah.
I worked for Ideal as they were going out of business.
Did you really?
Yes.
Did you
Well,
grab
no.
stuff?
I did.
Did you?
I will give you the first name, Saul.
Really?
I think he might have one.
Wow. There you go.
Saul, if you're watching.
Call me.
So we got one more giveaway, but I have to show you this. I talk about this all the time.
Yes.
This is my personal Matchbox collection that I have
Matchbox
carried with me from, to keep away from my
Right.
brothers, really.
Right.
It's how I started.
Even
But
has your name on it.
it has my
does.
name
There
on it
you
with a
go.
Dymo thing,
Okay.
It's not candy corn, but it is my name. So-
Very nice. I like it.
all right, so we've got another great giveaway.
Okay, what do we got?
Well, first of all, we're starting out
Macho Man.
Macho
Macho
Man. We're
Man.
giving him away?
Because I have two.
Okay. You can give it away.
I could sacrifice one.
There you go.
We've got another limited edition Halo War set, another Toy Fair Turtle.
Beautiful.
This came out this year, Skylanders limited edition 2012 from Toy Fair. It's marked for Toy Fair.
Beautiful.
Again, and here's the thing we learned about this with Skylanders.
Yeah.
You can actually sit this on the portal of power, and it will read it through the box. So you do not have to open the box.
Don't open it.
if you're a real collector.
And this one's gonna kill Video Boy. It
And
came out of my office.
Video Boy, watch this.
Oh, look at the head. Look at the head. He's just like
He's grieving. It's the Dark Knight.
I think I see a tear.
Blu-ray edition, special.
And it comes with it comes with Anne Hathaway's
No, this is
motor
not Dark
transportation.
Knight Rises. It's Dark
Oh,
Knight.
it's a Dark Knight Rises.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
this was still his before she
It's a
stole
dark-
it. Yeah.
That's
It was-
right.
So, to win this fabulous prize package, September 5th at midnight, come to timetoplayMag.com.
By September 5th.
By September 5th at midnight, you'll find all the rules, all the questions.
Click on the Playdate. Everything's there. Easy to enter, free to enter, and you can win all this.
and set your DVR every Wednesday night at 9 o'clock.
Every
watch,
Wednesday.
Watch the Toy Hunter.
Toy Hunter on
The Toy
Travel
Hunter.
This is
Channel.
going to be an awesome show. They laugh, they cry, they play with plastic.
Yeah.
It's our type of show.
It's
That's
our
right.
type of show. So thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
with
Come
us.
back.
Thank you.
Awesome. Come back and play with
I
us.
will. I'm coming back.
All right. Thank you so much for watching. Come visit us anytime at timetopplaymag.com, your #1 source for all things play.